Why do we instantly hate some people? Have you ever met someone for the very first time? They smiled. They were polite. They didn't do anything wrong. But for some reason, you just didn't like them. You couldn't explain it. You just felt it. Now here's the strange part. Have you ever had the exact opposite happen? You meet someone for 30 seconds, and somehow they already feel like an old friend. So why does this happen? Can your brain really judge a person in just a few seconds? And more importantly, can your first impression be completely wrong? Today, we're diving into one of the strangest things our brains do, instantly deciding whether we like someone or not. Let's find out why. Imagine you're walking into a party. You don't know anyone. You look around the room. Without speaking to a single person, your brain is already making decisions. That person looks friendly. That person seems confident. That person feels intimidating. The crazy thing is, most of these judgments happen automatically. Scientists believe our brains can form first impressions in less than a second, less than the time it takes to blink. Your brain is constantly asking one question. Is this person safe? Thousands of years ago, making quick decisions about strangers could literally save your life. Today, your brain still uses that ancient survival system, even though you're just meeting someone at school, or work, or the grocery store. But here's something even stranger. Sometimes, you dislike someone simply because they remind you of someone else. Maybe their voice sounds like a mean teacher. Maybe they laugh like someone who bullied you years ago. Maybe they have the same hairstyle as an annoying coworker. Your conscious mind doesn't notice these tiny similarities, but your subconscious does. Your brain connects old memories with new people almost instantly. It's like your mind says, "Oh no, I've seen this movie before," even if it hasn't. Now let's talk about facial expressions. Humans are incredibly good at reading faces. In fact, we do it without realizing it. A tiny smirk, raised eyebrows, a tense jaw, crossed arms. Your brain collects hundreds of tiny clues every second. Sometimes those clues are accurate. Sometimes they're completely misleading. Maybe someone looks angry, but they're just tired. Maybe they seem unfriendly, but they're actually shy. Your brain loves filling in missing information. Unfortunately, it doesn't always get the story right. Here's another fascinating reason. People often dislike others who are too similar to themselves. Sounds weird, right? But think about it. Imagine meeting someone who's just as stubborn as you are, or just as competitive, or talks just as much. Instead of recognizing yourself, you might find them incredibly annoying. Psychologists sometimes call this projection. The qualities we dislike in ourselves are often easier to notice in other people. It's like looking into an emotional mirror. And sometimes, we don't like what we see. Now imagine meeting someone who's extremely confident. Some people instantly admire them. Others instantly dislike them. Why? Because our own experiences shape our reactions. If confidence reminds you of inspiring leaders, you'll probably like confident people. If confidence reminds you of arrogant classmates, you might react very differently. The same person can create completely opposite reactions in different people. That's because we aren't judging reality. We're judging reality through our own memories. Let's talk about something called the halo effect. Imagine someone is very attractive. Your brain often assumes they're also kind, funny, smart, and trustworthy. Now flip that around. If someone gives you one bad first impression, maybe they interrupt you once, or forget your name, your brain may unfairly assume they have lots of other bad qualities too. One tiny detail suddenly colors everything else. Our brains love shortcuts. Unfortunately, people are much more complicated than shortcuts. Body language also matters more than we realize. Someone avoiding eye contact might seem dishonest, but maybe they're simply nervous. Someone speaking loudly might appear rude, or maybe they're excited. Someone standing quietly in the corner might seem unfriendly, or maybe they're just an introvert who needs time to warm up. We often mistake personality for temporary situations. Psychologists even have a name for this. It's called the fundamental attribution error. Basically, we assume people's behavior reflects who they are, Instead of considering what's happening in their lives. Here's something almost everyone has experienced. You meet someone, and for no clear reason, you just don't click. There's no fight. No argument. Just nothing. That's normal. Human personalities don't always fit together. Think of puzzle pieces. Some connect perfectly. Others simply don't. That doesn't mean either person is bad. It just means you're different. Not every friendship is meant to happen. And that's okay. But here's where things become dangerous. Sometimes our brains create dislike based on stereotypes. Before we even know someone, our minds make assumptions based on clothing, accents, age, or appearance. These mental shortcuts happen automatically. The important part is recognizing them. Just because your brain has an instant reaction doesn't mean it's correct. Your first thought isn't always your best thought. Real understanding begins when curiosity replaces assumptions. Now here's an interesting experiment. Think about someone you didn't like when you first met them. Maybe a classmate, a coworker, a neighbor. Did your opinion ever change? For many people, the answer is yes. As they spent more time together, they discovered the person was actually funny, kind, helpful, or surprisingly similar to themselves. This happens because first impressions only show a tiny piece of someone's story. People are much deeper than the first page. Interestingly, the opposite can happen too. Someone may seem amazing during your first meeting. They're charming, confident, funny, but over time, you realize they aren't as kind as they first appeared. That's why psychologists often say, first impressions matter, but they aren't the whole truth. Time reveals character far better than first impressions ever can. Your brain is built for speed, not perfection. It makes quick guesses because quick guesses helped humans survive for thousands of years. But modern life is different. Today, the person sitting quietly across from you isn't a predator. They're probably just another human with their own fears, dreams, and insecurities, just like you. So, the next time you instantly dislike someone, pause for a second. Ask yourself, am I reacting to who this person really is, or to a story my brain created in the first few seconds? You might be surprised by the answer. Sometimes your first impression is right, but sometimes, the people who become your closest friends are the ones you almost walked away from. Our brains are incredible, but they're also full of shortcuts. And learning when not to trust those shortcuts may be one of the smartest things we can ever do. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the hidden psychology behind everyday life, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fascinating questions about the human mind. And before you go, tell me in the comments, have you ever disliked someone at first and later realized they became one of your favorite people? I'd love to read your story. See you in the next video.